one thing that I'm really noticing is how much, like when I hear something or see something, I see it at least 10 other ways. And that's why I go all over the place. And I'm reading Howard Rheingold's Smart Mobs right now, and I had just finished his Net Smart and his whole focusing, on mindfulness, along with Ellen Langer's. And so, first response is, because I have all these really intelligent writer friends and communicator friends, and first response is I need to bridle myself. I need to get to where maybe I hear all those things, but I focus more. I decide how to pay attention to just some of them and be more, eloquent or well-bred in my sharing back out. But then there's a part of me that's like, again, I've done that for 45 years. Maybe this is part of me becoming myself. I don't want to intentionally be hard to understand. But I guess I'm just noticing and very curious about, so what happens if someone's hard to understand? What do you have to do? You have to get to know them. It's just, so I'm living it and playing it out. Because I'm also very curious about, like Simon Sinek, having watched his TED, but I didn't really get it till I read his book. Howard, I've met him a couple times, but his book is blowing me away, The Smart Mobs. But I looked through his tweets today, and one was about getting to know the rules more. Oh, I can't remember it. Let me see if I can pull it up. It was, it's not going to show up for me. It was something about getting to know the rules more so we know when we can bend them a little. And that reminded me of Dan Pink saying, when you do a TED Talk, make sure you say something important as opposed to say important things. So, and that led me to think about asking Thomas one day why we need credentialing. And to me, in my mind, when I zoom out, credentialing and rules and all that is the same, and his response strengthened that idea in my mind that we need credentialing. Well, he said when we're in an industrialist society and the industrialists need it, number one. And number two, he said when our communities are broken or disconnected. And so Bud's tweet about we need to get to know, and I'm doing him a great disservice because it was much better than, but in my mind now I'm thinking it's getting to know the rules so we know when we can bend them. Or is it getting to know the people? And I'm thinking of David Wiley saying we could be teaching the world, but policy keeps getting in the way. Maybe it's not even teaching the world. Maybe it's we could be happy, but policy keeps getting in the way. We could be connected, but policy keeps getting in the way. So maybe it's not so much about getting to know the rules and when we can bend them, getting to know the people. And now I'm back to the whole thumbprint as our universal flag, and Ellen Langer saying discrimination or prejudice decreases as discrimination increases. So I was imagining this morning what happens if it just seems we spend a lot of our time talking about, writing about, arguing about, and then implementing rules and policy type things. And what if we spent all that time getting to know each other? What if we spent all that time making incredible spaces at our mailboxes, or under the tree in the backyard, or meeting up with people on the walkway, or taking walks, or walking walks that people walked a long time ago, or going on bike rides. I mean, Clay Shirky's cognitive surplus. What if now we just hang out? What if hanging out is the best thing we can do, because that's the best way to get to know people? And rather than doing it after 3 or on the weekend when we're so exhausted, all that we do typically is complain. What if we did it fresh every day? Time to experiment with that. So I will continue to pursue this, connecting people, freeing people up, so that we can experiment with that. I think that's what technology wants. I think that's what people's souls crave. So in Howard's Smart Mobs, I'm just so intrigued of people, what they do when you leave them alone. I think we should imagine a world if we were all just intrigued in that. Instead of proving everything, we were more curious about what happens when you leave them alone, and let them be free. Makes me think of Ray's experience in the wilderness, and if we didn't think we had to take charge of everything, would the world, would the ecosystem be so much better off? A lot of this comes back to trust, trusting nature, trusting people, trusting learning, trusting how incredible life is, and that it's rich enough and full enough that we don't have to manage it. So I guess I'm experimenting with myself as well, and I'm not managing myself anymore, and that's creating a very crazy person, but I guess I'm finally okay with that. And I'm more curious on a day-to-day basis what that's making me, and allowing me to see and listen to in others.